During sleep, the brain isn't resting. It's cleaning, healing, and learning. Matthew Walker, author of Why We Sleep. Every night is a chance to grow, even when you do nothing. Because in deep sleep, your brain quietly refiles what you lived through today, mends the tiny tears in your feelings, and nourishes the seeds you planted in the daylight. As you let go, a deeper part of you is still learning, still recovering, and getting ready for a better version of you by morning. Tonight, I'll tell you a secret, one very few people ever notice, a quiet strength forged in stillness. Winter winds lash the gray walls. Boots beat a steady rhythm on frozen snow. Amid thousands of bowed heads, one pair of eyes stays open, not from fear, but to remember. His name was Viktor Frankl. Frankl was an Austrian psychiatrist. When the war broke out, he was sent to Auschwitz, a place where everything a person once had was stripped away. Freedom, family, even a name. He was reduced to a number carved into skin. Each day, he watched people collapse, not only from hunger, but from despair. When hope vanished, life dimmed with it. Frankl realized survivors weren't necessarily the strongest. They were the ones who still had a reason to live. A father wanting to see his child again. A husband holding his wife's smile in his heart. An artist dreaming of finishing an unfinished painting. Those reasons, small as they seemed, became the fuel that got them to their feet each morning. Frankl began to record everything he saw. On scraps of paper hidden inside his coat, he wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose and our freedom." It sounds simple, but in that hell, it was the one truth that kept him human. When humiliated, he refused to answer with hatred. When beaten, he did not let fear take over his mind. Instead, he kept a space, just enough room to remain in charge of himself. Once, standing in a line awaiting selection, Frankl looked around and saw those who could still love, even if only in imagination, were still alive. In hunger, he thought of his wife who had died, and he said, "My love does not require her presence to exist." He understood the body can be imprisoned, but the mind, if guarded, can still fly free. One day, he saw a man sitting quietly by a heap of rubble, lips moving softly in prayer. And Frankl understood. Faith is the final form of freedom. In that darkness, he wrote the line that would later save millions. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. He survived, not because he was stronger, but because he preserved meaning in every breath. After the war, Frankl returned and wrote Man's Search for Meaning, a book that made the world pause and think. He didn't speak about success, nor even about happiness, but about meaning, the quiet power that helps people pass through suffering. If you notice, we too live inside invisible camps today. Pressure, worry, expectation, comparison, and often we lose ourselves because we forget to keep that small space between reaction and calm. Frankl taught that meaning doesn't come from what we have, but from how we face what we cannot change. And sometimes, the only thing we can control is our attitude toward adversity. Consider this. Maybe what you're going through today, failure, loss, confusion, didn't come to break you, but to forge a new strength in you, the strength of steadiness and quiet. Frankl said that within suffering, there is always a chance to find meaning. If suffering can teach us something, then it is no longer meaningless. And perhaps that is why he could smile in hell, not because he accepted his fate, but because he found light within the dark. The story of Viktor Frankl is not only a memory of war, but a mirror for every generation. We can lose everything, but no one can take away the meaning we live by. If tonight you feel tired, standing amid uncertainty, remember his words. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. You may not be strong right away, but if you can keep a little peace and a little faith, you've already come halfway. Because sometimes true strength doesn't come from the fist. It comes from a heart calm enough to forgive and steady enough to continue. Tonight, let this story rest in your mind like a quiet seed. While you sleep, it will take root. And by morning, you may find yourself changed, lighter, steadier, and a little more at peace. The story of Viktor Frankl comes to a close, yet its echo remains in our minds. Amid losses, he found a small light, the light of meaning. And it was that light that helped him stand firm through humanity's longest night. That story is like a small lamp still burning, reminding us that even when everything collapses, something within us cannot be put out. Psychologists call that light resilience, the ability to rise after crisis, like a seed pushing up after the storm. Resilience is not never falling. It is the art of standing up while still wounded. It is how the mind learns to soften so it will not snap when the wind blows. People often say, time heals, but truly, it is the mind doing that work. When you grieve, the brain begins an invisible process. It reconnects, relays the pathways of emotion, and gradually learns to see the world differently. A study at the Mayo Clinic has shown that when people learn to steady the mind in adversity, the brain forms new connections. Cells once wired to fear and despair are reconfigured, helping you return to balance more quickly. This is how the body and mind keep finding their way home, back to where you truly belong, to peace. Imagine your mind as a lake. When storms rise, the water muddies. You can't see the bottom. But if you sit still, let the waves calm, the water clears again. That is resilience. The calm that follows the storm, helping us see ourselves clearly. Many think resilience is toughness, never allowed to be weak. But no. True resilience doesn't come from bracing. It comes from flexibility, like bamboo in a gale. It isn't rigid, it is supple, it bends with the wind, and when the storm passes, it still stands. We are the same. When we learn to accept our feelings, allow ourselves to be a little weak, and gradually recover, we are training the mind's capacity to rebound. A Harvard study shows that people high in resilience aren't those who avoid suffering, but those who transform it. They don't run from feelings. They face them with patience and trust. Because sometimes, not running away is already the beginning of healing. Maybe you've known this too. You fell, then got back up without quite knowing how you could still walk. That is resilience, quietly working within you for a very long time. If you've known loss, you know some wounds never disappear. They can only be transformed. Resilience doesn't make you forget. It teaches you to go on, lighter, deeper, and more self-aware. In a small experiment, scientists asked people to write 3 gratitudes each night before sleep. After a few weeks, their brains registered more positive signals, their emotions steadied, and their ability to recover from stress increased significantly. This shows that resilience isn't born only in suffering. It can be trained in peace. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, choose breathing over reacting, choose rest over forcing, you are strengthening that invisible muscle. And right now, as you listen to these words, your brain is reprogramming itself. Soft sounds, slower breathing, and positive thoughts are activating the brain's recovery systems. Where emotions are sorted, memories are healed, and peace is reinforced. A part of you is learning to return to its natural state, a state of conscious stillness. So don't be afraid when you feel weak. Weakness is not the opposite of strength. It is a part of recovery. Resilience doesn't turn you into someone else. It brings you back to yourself, a calmer, steadier, clearer version. Frankl once said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." That is the essence of resilience. And you have that capacity too, because in every person there is a quiet strength waiting to be awakened. You may not feel it clearly yet, but each night, as you let go, your mind is still healing itself, still putting things in order, quietly rebuilding your trust from within. Imagine this. Every positive thought you hear tonight is like a drop of water falling onto the lake of your mind. At first, it is only a small ripple, but if you listen each night, those ripples form a new surface, quieter, deeper, clearer. This is how resilience grows, not in loud action, but in the gentle repetition of what is good. And tonight, you are doing exactly that. By listening, by allowing yourself to rest, you are retraining your inner strength. Now, take one more deep breath, feel your body getting lighter, and let whatever worries remain flow out on this exhale. In the days ahead, when you meet difficult moments, remember this feeling, the feeling of peace, not because everything is easy, but because you've learned to be still in the wind. That is resilience, the quiet power that helps us rise, even after we've fallen. And as you sleep, let these words rest in your subconscious, like a small message that reminds you, human beings are not born to avoid suffering, but to find meaning in how we move through it. Have you ever wondered why a small criticism can weigh on you all day, while a compliment slips away after only a few minutes? Rick Hansen, an American neuropsychologist and author of Hardwiring Happiness, once said something that made the world stop and think. The brain is like Velcro for negative experiences, but Teflon for positive ones. Maybe that's why we sometimes carry old wounds, even when they're long past. The mind remembers pain faster than joy, as if it's afraid that if it forgets, we'll be hurt again. Across millions of years of evolution, our brains were built to survive, not to be happy. They prioritize whatever could be dangerous to keep us from further harm. But that same survival system, when it's no longer needed in the same way, can make the mind grow tired, anxious, and unable to stay at peace. The good news is this: the brain can be retrained. We can teach it to hold the good a little longer, so positive feelings truly soak into the nervous system. Hansen calls this hardwiring happiness, embedding happiness into the structure of the brain. And it begins with one small, simple act. Let a positive feeling stay a little longer. When someone says something that warms your heart, don't just smile and move on. Pause for 10 seconds. Feel it clearly in your body. When sunlight pours through your morning window, let that light remain for one more breath. When you do something you once thought was hard, allow yourself a moment of quiet pride. Just stay a little longer, just a few extra seconds, because in those few seconds, the brain is quietly recording the positive feeling. New neural links are forming, like small pathways opening through a deep forest. The more you walk that path, the clearer and easier it becomes. Likewise, the more you stay with what is good, the more your brain learns the state of calm. Rick Hansen describes it in 3 simple steps. Notice the good, savor it, let it sink in. It sounds simple, but this is how we recalibrate the neural map of our emotions. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you water only the seeds of worry, they will grow fast. But if each day you tend the sprouts of peace, they will also grow until the whole garden changes color. The brain doesn't perfectly separate real from imagined. If you truly feel safe and well, the brain logs it as a real experience. Each time you let yourself feel happiness, you carve a new fold in the brain, training it to return to the bright path instead of wandering old trails of fear. Science can explain how the brain changes, but only the heart knows how to make it true. You don't need to understand every mechanism to begin. Just bring a gentle attention. Whenever you notice something pleasant, a bird's call, a breeze, a familiar, kind glance, allow yourself to linger there, as if you were standing before a beautiful painting and didn't want to leave just yet. And perhaps the most magical thing is this: you don't have to do anything. Simply let the mind be quiet, and the brain will find its way back to peace. Moments of quiet like these gradually change the whole emotional system within you. Science calls it neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and learn. But you don't need to remember the term. Just know this: the brain is like soil. What you plant and what you water daily determines the garden you live in. If you plant what is positive, the brain responds with calm, clarity, and a deep sense of safety. And right now, as you listen, your brain is doing exactly that. Soft sounds, a slower voice, and positive thoughts are becoming new neural pathways. Each breath you take is strengthening your capacity to feel joy instead of worry. Rick Hansen once said, "You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." In the same way, you can't stop the world from bringing challenges, but you can learn to keep the good so you're not swept away by the bad. Now, try one small thing. Take a deep breath and think of a recent moment when you felt truly grateful. Maybe it was someone's eyes, a gentle word, a small moment that made you smile. Let that image come clearly into your mind. As you exhale, let the feeling spread through your body, warm, light, safe. You are helping your brain record happiness, teaching the mind that peace isn't far away. It lives in each breath you choose to keep. If you repeat this each night before you drift into sleep, the brain will gradually change. It will learn to stay with what is positive and let the negative fall away on its own. Tomorrow, you'll wake with a mind that's clearer, lighter, and calmer. Not because the world has changed, but because your brain has learned to see differently. And tonight, let these gentle feelings remain. Let every breath be a reminder that peace doesn't come from the outside. It is nurtured within you day by day, night by night, in this very stillness. Sometimes, the quiet of a single person can move the world more than 1,000 speeches. There are people who don't need many words, and yet their presence makes the whole world listen. One of them was Nelson Mandela. For 27 years, Mandela lost his freedom, his family, his youth, and his honor. Yet through all those years, he did not lose one thing: his inner stance. In a small cell on Robben Island, Mandela rose before dawn, folded his blanket, tidied his space, and stepped into the yard for a few simple exercises. A prisoner with no idea when he would be free still lived each day as if preparing for that day. He often drew strength from a line he loved: "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." Mandela's strength did not come from thunderous speeches. It came from disciplined silence, silence to observe, to understand, to turn pain into resolve. In a world of noise and conflict, he chose the path of calm. He understood that to move the world, you must first touch the calm within yourself. Years later, when asked what helped him endure 27 years, Mandela simply smiled and said, "I never thought of myself as being imprisoned. I was being trained." Perhaps true freedom doesn't live in the space around us, but in the space within our mind. Prison walls could not confine a soul that knew its purpose. Each day, he turned repetition into training, solitude into contemplation, and anger into compassion. Mandela did not deny pain. He chose a different way to see it. Like Viktor Frankl, he knew that when we cannot change a situation, we can choose our attitude toward it. From prisoner to leader, not because he held power, but because he held peace within. In silence, he honed a rare quality, steadfast without being rigid, like water, gentle, flexible, yet strong enough to wear down stone. When he was freed, Mandela did not speak of revenge. He spoke of reconciliation. He said, "Resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die." He understood. True freedom isn't just walking out of a cell, it's walking out of the chains of hatred. Even as president, he kept the habits he had in prison, rising early, exercising, and giving himself quiet time. For him, greatness wasn't in power. It was in staying calm inside power. A former jailer once recalled, Mandela could make a room fall silent, not because he demanded it, but because he arrived with absolute peace. True strength doesn't live on the surface. It lives in how we keep our peace when no one is watching. If you look closely, all great souls share something. They act from deep quiet. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the clarity of mind where struggle falls away and insight remains. That quiet, if you listen carefully, already lives within you too. We've just forgotten how to call it by name. And like Mandela, we don't need a prison to learn it. We only need a small daily moment to pause, to breathe, and to listen within. In that moment, you are training your calm in the middle of change, your steadiness in your choices, and your kindness toward what is not yet perfect. Mandela said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." Sometimes we don't need battle cries, only one deep breath and a long healing silence. The strength in silence is strength steady as earth and soft as water. It isn't loud, but it soaks in, nourishing what is good within us. And tonight, as you listen, let a part of that strength touch your heart. You don't have to strain. You don't have to prove anything. Just be still, as Mandela once was. Because sometimes in the quietest spaces we hear the sound of freedom. And as you sleep, let this quiet stay with you, like a seed of wordless strength, gently taking root with every breath, every night, every moment you choose peace. Let your body slow down, like a lake when the last waves fade. You have listened to many things tonight, about strength, about steadiness, about people who turned stillness into their greatest power. You may feel thoughts still moving slowly in your head. Let them drift, like clouds crossing the sky. Now it is time to allow yourself to return to that stillness. Breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Once more. Breathe in, feel the air entering your lungs, your chest opening, and breathe out, soft, long, and complete. Feel each breath growing softer, gentler, and steady like the rhythm of the sea. Now, bring your attention to your body. From your feet, feel a gentle heaviness settling down. Feet, calves, thighs, every muscle loosens as if you were sinking deeper into the mattress. Shift your attention to the belly, where the breath rises and falls slowly. No effort, no control, only noticing. With every inhale, you bring a warm breeze into your body. With every exhale, all tension, all thoughts melt away like light smoke. Up to the chest, feel your heart. It beats, slow, steady, safe. Each beat is like a soft light spreading through your whole body. Up to the neck, the shoulders, the back of the neck, the places that hold the weight of the day. Feel those muscles lengthen, dissolving like mist in sunlight. Feel your face, your forehead, your eyes, your jaw, all of it softening, as if you were smiling inside a dream. And now you are lying in a warm stream of light, pale gold, gentle like morning sunlight in a quiet room. That light moves through every cell, bringing the sense of healing, of safety, and of gratitude. Every part of the body is resting. Your mind is too. Now you are lying on a still surface of water. No weight remains, only the feeling of being held, of being carried. What is past, today, the stories, the worries, all of it is dissolving, like small waves disappearing across a lake. Now only stillness remains. There's nothing to do, nothing to prove, nothing to force. You are safe, you are at rest, and your body knows exactly how to heal. Remember, sleep is not the shutting off of consciousness. It is a journey inward. Every cell in you is repairing itself. Every memory is being sorted. Every feeling is being gently untangled. This is the moment of quiet rebirth. Everything you heard tonight about strength, steadiness, and peace is soaking into the deepest layers of awareness. No effort is needed. Your subconscious already knows. If something in your heart still feels heavy, imagine it as a small stone. As you breathe out, that stone slowly sinks to the lake bed. It does not disappear. It simply lies still, so the water above can grow clear again. And when the water turns clear, you can see the light reflected from within yourself. Let that clear water be your mind. Flat, still, reflecting the light of calm. Now every sound outside fades to a distant echo. Thoughts dissolve. Only your breath remains, your heartbeat, and perfect peace. Feel this moment. The moment you don't need to go anywhere, don't need to become anyone, only be yourself, and that is enough. Your mind is drifting into a gentle space where there is no time, no worry, only clear stillness and unconditional love for yourself. If you are still awake, take one slow inhale and breathe out, as if you were letting the whole world float away. If you've begun to feel hazy, let sleep welcome you. This sleep is not only rest, it is a journey inward, where inner strength is trained in stillness, as Mandela once did, as Frankl once endured, and as every soul learns to grow in quiet. Tonight, you are not only sleeping, you are healing, with stillness, with breath, with the peace that is growing within you. Now, let everything drift. Your body knows the way home. Let sleep embrace you, like the arms of the universe itself. All that is good is arriving, and it will stay. I am safe, I am calm, I am enough. I am being held and supported. My breath is smooth and full. Everything can wait until tomorrow. I allow myself to be at ease. I let things be natural. Sleep does the rest. What was heavy has left with this breath. I have enough time. I have enough space. I have enough peace. I listen to my body. My body recovers in its natural rhythm. Each breath brings warmth and safety. Within me, there is a small light. That light stays with me. I keep it with gentleness. I cherish the small things. A kind word, a smile, a quiet second, and I let the good stay a little longer. Small joy touches my heart and stays. Happiness soaks into me, light as sunlight. I can be weak and then grow strong. I am allowed to slow down. I am allowed to rest. Rest grows me. Between stimulus and response, I have a space, and in that space, I choose peace. I am gentle with myself. I speak to myself with kindness. I am steady yet soft. I am firm in my gentleness. Old burdens leave me on their own, and I step lighter. I recognize my healthy boundaries. Saying enough at the right time guards my peace. I keep what nourishes me. I honor very small steps. One step a day is still moving. I thank myself for being persistent. I trust my natural rhythm of recovery. I trust the good seed growing within me. I trust the person I am becoming. I release old stories. I smile at the present moment. I open to the good that is arriving. Breath stays even. I am gently falling. I am safe. I am calm. I am enough. I breathe in and receive. I breathe out and release. I look at the world with kind eyes. I speak softly to myself. I keep the good and let it stay. Beautiful memories are being recorded within me. Peaceful pathways are becoming clear. I return easily to the quiet place inside. I am grateful for a body that is healing. I am grateful for a heart that loves steadily. I am grateful for the stillness wrapping me tonight. I allow myself to be loved. I allow myself to receive. I allow myself to be myself. I am whole within myself. I return to my own rhythm. That rhythm is enough. Feelings come and go. I remain in peace behind the clouds. The clear sky is still there. I step into gentle silence. This silence grows me. This silence is my strength. Everything is quiet now. I am safe. I am calm. I am enough. I welcome warmth, kindness, and trust. I choose what is gentle and true to my heart. I move unhurried in my own rhythm. I soften my face, my shoulders release, my heart opens one beat more. I thank the challenges for teaching me to be gentle with myself. I thank the small joys for reminding me to smile. I thank the stillness for helping me grow. Each breath is a reminder. Each heartbeat is a light step forward. Each night of sleep is a tender rebirth. I sleep deep and whole. When I sleep, my body knows how to heal. My mind knows how to reorder things. My heart knows how to soften. These gentle words remain in me like a warm breeze. I sleep so well. The night is as still as a lake without a ripple. A very thin band of light drifts across the sky, not loud, needing no name, only the fingerprint of stillness. You are lying here, held by a gentle night, lifted by a soft bed and by your own breath. Inside the chest, the heart taps a slow, rounded rhythm, like a librarian placing each page back on its proper shelf. Outside, everything sleeps. Inside, you open a small door by taking one deeper breath. The door leads to a quiet path, carpeted with moss and warm light. With each step you touch down, your whole body softens a little more, like water finding its way home to the sea. At the end of the path, there is a garden. No need to knock. A wooden gate opens softly, as if it already knew you would come. You pass through. No sound, only a very thin wind combing through the branches. In your palm rests a seed, warm like a tiny heartbeat. You kneel, place the seed in loose soil, cover it with a thin layer, then let your hand rest there. The earth is cool and kind. Somewhere deep below, a vein of water touches the tips of your fingers. You do not have to do anything else. You simply remain here. In silence, the seed knows its own way. A small sprout parts the husk. No cry, no effort, only moving in the direction of light. You rise gently and drift on. The grass is soft. The night smells like an old book open to its most beautiful page. Ahead is a round, mirror-like pool. The surface is so clear that even the sky lying quietly beneath it can be seen. You sit at the water's edge and touch it with one finger. A circle opens, then another. Everything answers you by refusing to hurt you. On the water, a reflection appears. It is you, lighter, brighter, calm as the sky after rain. That reflection smiles. There is no sound, but you understand. Everything necessary is already within. From the crown of your head, a warm band of light falls slowly, like a soft scarf. It moves across the forehead, widening the space between the brows. Over the eyelids, laying a gentle sleep upon them. Over the cheeks, dissolving the small tensions of the day. The light slides down the throat, softening the things you once tried to swallow. Across the shoulders, 2 old stones drop onto the grass. Along the arms, through the hands, to the fingertips, everything lets go. It embraces the chest, the heartbeat now like the footsteps of someone returning home. Spreads to the belly, where the breath rises and falls evenly. Down the hips, the thighs, the knees, the calves, and comes to rest like mist upon the toes. From the soles, fine roots grow, not to cling, but to connect. They touch the earth's current, and the earth answers with a warmth rising up, steady as the phrase, "Welcome home." Somewhere, there is the sound of water. No need to find its source. All waters eventually join the place they belong. Above you, a cluster of fireflies lights and dims. The small lights gather into a warm band, like good thoughts that pay a visit and stay for one more beat. You follow a faint path paved with light. With every step, the road grows a little clearer. Peaceful paths are born from gentle repetition. On both sides, a row of young bamboo. The wind arrives. They bend, then stand straight again, supple yet unbroken. You remember the green sprout from before and suddenly understand. Everything that grows, grows like this, not out of struggle, but because it knows the way toward light. At the garden's edge stands a small house glowing warm. The door is slightly ajar, as if the house itself were breathing. You step inside. The space within is a room with a listening corner. A long table at the center, a thin mat in the corner meant for quiet. Warm light rests on the wall like a golden breath. On the table lie small pieces of the day. A hurried glance, a sentence that did not have time to soften, a hope still lingering. A candle lights itself. You gently gather each small piece and place it in the flame. The flame does not burn. It softens them, turning them into bright dust that drifts out the starry window. Immediately, the room grows lighter, as if someone had opened a window to let the night breeze in. You blow out the candle. The sweet wax scent remains. a gentle farewell to what has passed. You move to the listening corner. Here, every sound stays at the edges. Only the inner sounds remain, the heart, the blood, and silence speaking its own language. You open your palm and place upon it one last lingering thing. Do not look for an answer. Simply let it rest like a leaf. After a while, the leaf glows very softly, then dissolves into the warm air in your hand. It turns out what you needed was not an answer, but the peace to live with the question. You drift back into the garden. The moon has climbed higher. The mist has grown thicker. Everything remains in its most beautiful place. You return to the mirror pool's shore. Just beside it, an open well. The water is deep and clear, like your eyes when worry is gone. You lean and look down. Not the hurried face of daylight, but the face from when you were small, astonished at a butterfly, eyes wide at a raindrop. You smile at that child. It smiles back, a round smile like an embrace. You touch the water and lift a single drop. The drop rests in your palm, turns into a small point of light. You place the light at your chest. There, it remains for a very long time, without any heat. You return to the dim path. The green sprout has grown taller. The bamboo still sways. The fireflies still light and dim, like gentle thoughts. You stop at the bright trail. Here, a very old whisper rises from deep in your chest. I am safe. I am calm. I am enough. The words melt into your breath, flowing along little streams of light through your body to the places still closed, opening them. You keep walking, and the garden opens into a wider hush. A wooden bridge appears, arching over a narrow stream. The water moves like a long breath, gathering and letting go. You cross the bridge. The boards are warm from the day, and they remember kindness. On the far bank, a cottage light, low and golden. The door is already open, as if it has been expecting you. Inside, the room is simple. Curtains rise and fall like a sleeping chest. A bed waits, linen cool, blanket light, pillow shaped to your head. On the nightstand, a smooth stone and a folded note. You lift the stone. The note is written in a feeling you know at once. Welcome home. You lie down. The bed receives your weight and gives it back as buoyancy. Edges round off. Thoughts drift to the window and rest. If any worry still circles, let it speak once, then let it bow, turn, and walk into the night garden. Now listen, the room has a heartbeat with yours, with the stream, with the rain on the leaves, with the steady breath of the world. A deeper wave rises from far inside. It is gentle, and it carries you completely. You let go of the shore. The wave carries you farther in. Place your hand on your chest if you like, and feel the 3 words that always open the door. I am safe. I am calm. I am enough. The wave moves through. You are already inside. Sleep is not something you chase. It arrives when you make room. Make room now, wider, wider still. Everything gentle enters. Everything hard becomes round. Everything heavy puts itself down. The cottage light dims to a glow. The garden draws its curtains, and the sky writes one word across itself: rest. Sleep easily, sleep deeply, sleep all the way through. Good night.